I would like to marry Steven, but he can be very rude and very insensitive. He has said I'm selfish, self-centered, a B word, things that I feel that I'm not.
I would never try to be deliberately mean or hurtful to her. I've tried to apologize and move forward.
Before I can walk down the aisle with Steven, I need to feel comfortable and safe around him. If things don't change, I'm breaking up with him.
Well, Stacey is here, but we have an empty chair next to her because of a fight Stacey and Steven had at the hotel before the show. Steven was arrested, this was 2 days ago, for cohabitation abuse.
And we went and checked into the hotel and everything was fine for a while.
As we're getting ready to go out, he started saying hurtful things to me.
She was completely just negative towards me and being disrespectful, and she's like, do you want to hit me, Steven? Do you want to hit me? And I'm like, no, I don't want to hit you, Stacey. She was baiting me to try and do something like that.
And I could hear people in the room next to us. I knew they could hear what was going on. And I ran to the adjoining door and opened it and knocked on it. And the girl said, we got it, we called security 20 minutes ago.
So I grabbed her from behind, and I was like, just going to pick her up, move her away from the door, and try and sit down on the bed and talk about this. And when that happened, I kind of lost my balance, and we both fell.
And I fell down, hit my tailbone, and hit the back of my head. I heard kind of a crack or a pop.
And then about that time is when the security from the hotel knocked on the door.
If he drops you on the floor and you hit your head and you get a clot and you have a stroke and you die, you're just as dead whether he meant to do it or whether he didn't. That's why it's a zero tolerance situation. You do not put your hands on a woman in anger ever, period.
Since the fight took place, Stacey and I have been in jail for the last week because of a silly, stupid argument. My week was spent around hardened criminals, people accused of murder and drug dealers and you name it. I'm basically sitting in there as an innocent man having to wonder what's going to happen next. From the time of my arrest, the perception was I was an abusing boyfriend that beat up my girlfriend. It was simply not true. Should I have picked her up? No. But did I assault her or abuse her or anything like that? Absolutely not. I never would. It's a tremendous assault on my character. That's something that really hurts me. I blame Stacey. She created the argument. There was no reason to try and involve strangers in a disagreement. There was no reason for her to yell for security, and she wasn't in harm's way.
Well, Steven has just been released from jail, and he's here. You said you were in jail as an innocent man.
Correct.
So did you or did you not get physical with her?
I did.
Okay, so how are you in jail as an innocent man?
What I was accused of as far as the story is not what happened.
So she lied to the police? You were innocent of what you were accused of, but yet you were physical with her.
I was.
Who embellished the story?
I think it was embellished by the police, by the, maybe the security at the hotel, maybe the guests next door. I know that it wasn't a cohabitation abuse. It wasn't something that we were in this knockdown, drag-out fight.
Now, this is her arm from what she says from what took place. And what I see is you just spent a week in jail for attacking her. You criticize her for always having a friend around, that you think she's hiding her identity, which is why you think she wears so much makeup. What you see is what you get when you say that you have called her the word, the B word, a ditz, Carrie Bradshaw, all of these things. So if what you see is what you get, those things scream really loudly. See, that's a problem. And see, that's what happens in relationships. When you do outrageous things, it overshadows everything that your partner does. Like, she may be high maintenance. She may be selfish and think the world revolves around her. I don't know, because you're doing things that are so outrageous, they overshadow that, where you can't negotiate. Because what you do gives her a free pass. Because I mean, this is a woman you love, and you're calling her the word. I mean, come on. Somebody should have told you before now, that's a huge no-no. Women don't like that. It's insulting and it's demeaning. So if you guys have any chance at all, You are going to sit down with a professional. You are going to negotiate a relationship and come up with a plan that both of you can be excited about. Now, I will handpick someone that will sit down with y'all and do that. And you don't always have to be in the same room. I know this is a long-distance relationship. In this day and time, there's technology that will help us make this work. If I set that up for you, will you do it?
Yes.
And will you not proceed until you do?
Yes.
No question. And
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's our relationship and how we feel about each other and what we have between us. And if we can fix what needs to be fixed, I have no doubt that Stacey and I can be a healthy and happy couple.
And if you can't, then move on. Life is too short. I mean, y'all are 35. I mean, come on. It's just, right now, you're each just somebody that you met once.
Right.
And it may not be the right fit. And if it's not, admit it and move on. That's part of being mature enough to do it. And if you find that right one, you'll know it. You'll know it.
3 years ago, I had gastric bypass surgery and I lost over 220 pounds. When I was overweight, my husband would say hurtful and mean things.
I've called her fat, lazy, words that aren't appropriate.
There was an occasion where he called me a fat cow. That was very hurtful.
I know you shouldn't treat another person like that, but she reacts right back, and I've been called quite a few things.
Chris is a very angry person. He only knows how to express it in rage or yelling.
I know I have anger issues. I'm very negative.
One time, we had been having an argument. Chris kept pushing, and it was making me more and more angry.
I got up in her face. She pushed me, and I smacked her in the back of the head. The cops were called. I was taken to jail.
With the weight loss and the change in my self-esteem and my confidence level being higher, it has made me realize that I don't have to stay because I'm so big that nobody else will want me. I will not endure many more years of marriage like this.
Well, Chris and his wife Kim are here, and you say you're up against it. You're saying you're not going to do this anymore.
Yes, I'm to that point.
My understanding is that when you dropped all of this weight, that it got much worse.
It's harder for him when people pay attention to me because of my looks. When I'm still the same person inside, I'm still the same loving, caring person who loves him.
But he says that's not true. He says that when you lost the weight, you lost yourself. That's a quote. True?
Yes. She's changed a lot.
Well, I disagree with that. I'm the same person, but I'm more vocal about how I feel, what I want. My self-esteem is completely done a 180. I went from doing everything for everybody else to being in a situation where I have to do things for myself. And I never did that before.
Chris has had a hard time dealing with the weight loss and the way other people react to me.
I see other guys looking at her, and I see other guys flirt with her.
You can tell that it creates insecurity just by comments that he made.
Now, Chrissy is Kim's younger sister. Kathy is her mom. Now, she's the one that sent me a letter stating that everyone in the family is sick of all the fighting. Now, Chrissy says that she witnessed Chris threatening violence with Kim. What are you thinking about this conversation so far?
Well, I think it does have a lot to do with Kim losing the weight. And unfortunately, I think that that type of stress has completely escalated the anger and completely escalated the violence towards Kim, towards the kids. Just that outbursts in general have gotten worse. And it's made it pretty tough for everyone.
What do you think needs to happen here for things to pull you back from the threshold? Because you say, I'm at a point where I'm not going to do this anymore.
I know that I've changed. And I don't expect him to change like I did, but I want him to realize that there are things that he could do to be more positive. If he could take that negative energy and turn it into a positive energy, he can accomplish anything he wants.
Have you done anything to help him? Have you taken that approach, or has his negativity put you on the defensive?
I've taken that approach with him, and I tell him, I love you and only you. No matter how big I was or how small I get or what I look like or how many people pay attention to me. It's not them that I want to pay attention to me or make the comments. It's you. It's you that I want to spend the rest of my life with. It's you that I want to be happy with. It's you that I want to feel safe with.
You've got a woman that you really care about who says, I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Then it would seem to me that you would do two things. Number one, you would resolve to figure out what it is that's got you so pissed off all the time. Because you're like somebody with a bad sunburn. You know, you come along and say, hey, how's it going? Did that hurt you? No. But if you got a bad sunburn, you do that and they go, whoa, you got a bad sunburn. You have a psychological sunburn, and it doesn't take much to rub you the wrong way, does it? Because it's been done to you a lot, so you're hypersensitive to it.
Yep.
You need to resolve, I'm going to figure out what is it about, this anger is coming from the inside out. It's not about her. It's not about the 14-year-old. It's about you. That comes from the inside out. You got to resolve, I'm going to figure out what that is. Because you know what? I believe when you come to a relationship, you either contribute to it or you contaminate it. There's no neutral ground. You're either a contributor or you're a contaminator. And you got to ask yourself, what am I doing to contaminate this relationship? And you know that you have contaminants, right?
Yes, I do. Anger,
paranoia, sensitivity, a lot of things. I'm not saying she doesn't have her own list. I'll get to that in a minute. But you got a list, and you need to resolve that. So you have some peace, and everybody around you has some peace. And then number two, you got to figure out what you can do to make that woman smile at you. Because I'm going to tell you what, I've been married 35 years, and I got a real simple rule. If she ain't smiling a lot, I change what I'm doing. It's just kind of like a thermometer. You know? Number one, you need to figure out what her needs are. And number two, you need to teach her what your needs are. And you can't do that if you don't know what they are. And you've got two jobs here. You've got to figure out what he needs. He's had a bit of a tortured past.
I know.
And you're the salve that can heal some of those wounds. But in the same time, you've got to teach him what you need. And that's the negotiation. Now you got two people working towards each other. And that will work. That will work. But you really do, your psychological skin has been burned. You know, you admit that.
Absolutely.
You need to get that healed. And I will get you some help doing that. I will get you someone that will deal specifically with that. Not with the two of you first, but with you to deal with that. Okay. And then work on this. But you say you're just up against it. Don't pull that trigger. Don't quit on this.
I'm not.
Give us a chance here to do some things that need to be done. This can get better. Now, you guys watch the show. You know there are a lot of people that I've said, you need to get a divorce before the sun sets today. I have told people, I did. I just said, listen, do not walk. Run to the courthouse, get a divorce. Get a divorce. And people say, does it ever make it hard for you to say that? The only reason that I sometimes find that hard to say is because that means they're going to now be unleashed on two new people. And so I say, okay, now we got 4 miserable people. So I sometimes hate to do that. But so I don't hesitate to tell you that. I'm not telling you that here. This can get better. But you have to deal with this issue internally first. Because you've got some legitimate things that she needs to change. You absolutely do, no question about it. You can do a better job of helping people deal with your changes. Okay? I mean, you can. You have a responsibility to do that. You chose the change, then you choose everything that goes with it.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.